Okay, so today I'm reviewing the GameBox Plus. This is a $5 console that you can get on AliExpress. Now, if you just saw what I did and you're like, yeah, you're using the Project Showcase on a Sony camera, yes, I am. I'm gonna milk that feature so much. Now, I'll let the viewer decide if 3-inch is a lot. I mean, for a console, of course. But wait a minute, something is off. Let's look at the marketing again. What is the difference in those two images? If you said that one is yellow and the other is red, you were right. No, more seriously, when I opened the box, I was like, something is off. And then when I look at the marketing picture, I was like, oh, I got it. And then I got a ruler and measured the diagonal of the console. Basically, it said that it's a big 3-inch screen console, but when you measure it, the diagonal is only 6 centimeters, so it's more like 2.36 inch. So they use the bezel to count the screen size, which is quite misleading. But why am I reviewing this console anyways? Well, I don't know. I was on AliExpress and I was like, let's get the cheapest non-one game console I can get and see how bad it can be. I'm here to entertain, and so we're gonna test that console. Let's unbox it and see what we get in the box.
As you can see here, I pay $532 for the console. It said like instead of $40, but it's always on sale of $4 or $5, so I think it's misleading. You can see the front of the box of the GameBox Plus. It said support external gamepad double against, so not the best translation. You can see that it comes with the console, a video cable, a DC cable to charge it, which is a USB-C to USB-A, and the user manual. I choose red because it was the cheapest of the console. There's a lot of unpack here. Digital game system 3.0 inch super wide LCD. The console is slim, portable, and trendy. Not sure about the trendy part. You can play on multiple platforms because you can play on TV. You have 6 hours of battery life. The screen is also backlit, letting you play anywhere. You can see here that you have a reset button, the game key or the face button, the arrow key is the D-pad, a volume knob on the side, a start and select, and on top you have the TV out, the adapter in for the power, and the AV in. Here you have what's included in the box. So you have a AV cable, and you have a USB-C to USB-A to charge the console itself, and the user manual. You can see here that the battery is removable, which is a feature I really love on a console, especially at that price point. So if eventually the battery dies, you can just replace it without needing to open the console. Here you can see the volume knob on the side, and I'm using my Yoshi amiibo to hold the console. On the top of the console, you have the video out, the USB-C to charge in the middle, and the big power button. You can see here the size comparison with my Yoshi amiibo, so it's still a small console, easily to pocket in jeans or any pants that you have. And here you have it compared to my 8-bit Do controllers to give you an idea of the size of the console. The bezel is really thick, so the screen looks quite small. Here we have it next to the RG35XX Plus that I am normally using. The screen is a 3.5 inch, and you can see how gigantic the screen looks compared to the other one. And here we have it with the Mii Mini, and it's a 3.5 inch screen, and we can see the console are basically the same size, but you get a way better screen on the Mii Plus. Let's test the speaker and sound quality next. We can see here that compared to the LCD built-in of the console that has difficulty to refresh fast using my TV in game mode, when I'll start running fast in Mario, you can see that the screen has like no issue to keep up and the game is not lagging or anything. So I think it's just the poor LCD screen that's causing more issue, because here I'm running super fast and the game is keeping up without issue.
For extra testing, I decided to bring it to my day job in the IT department. I had 4 like coworkers slash friends that were there. So it was interesting to see their impression. The first one that is not a gamer and only play a Nintendo game when he was younger is that, oh my god, I play a game like X Bike, and I was like, this is on the console. So he was like playing with it and was like, oh my god, I'm having fun right now. I'll probably give him the console after it's done, because my plan was to put it in front of the building and someone take it over, because I have way better control, and this way someone, at least someone I know, will enjoy it. Now, I asked Ghoster like what he thought of the console, and he was like, it's really toy-like. Another friend said the same thing. Because of the plastic, the feeling, you really feel like you have a kid's toys in your hand. And then he mentioned, because I show him the removable batteries, and he was like, oh, those are Nokia battery for old cell phone and things like that. It said it's interesting because you pay the console $5, but those batteries are like 18 on eBay, so it's maybe cheaper to get like 2 of those consoles to get those batteries if you need them. He also mentioned how mushy were the button and the D-pad. I said that I agree, but the D-pad is not as bad as I thought. It's actually accurate, which he agreed also. That if I play Control, I can actually aim at 45 degree, what was not the case on my R36S, which probably cost 10 times more money. But it's still a superior console at any point versus this one, except for that. We were also having a long discussion and being curious about like, how are they making money on those? They're like, oh, it's always on sale. Instead of being $40, it's $5. So my 2 hypotheses were like, first, they're selling my personal info, or that like it's all a bunch of leftovers from previous device that they have in stock, and they just use those parts to build a console out of it, or it's a product loss item for them, and they're hoping that you're gonna buy more things at AliExpress. My friend also mentioned that there's a NES on chip that exists now. So maybe opening the console would be interesting to see if it's a SD card, maybe you can replace the ROM. But I'm assuming it will be built in. So we'll see if by the end of this video I decided to open it just to see. So what did I think of the GameBox Plus, that $5 console I got on AliExpress? Well, I didn't have an expectation, and in some way, it is better than I thought, and other way, it's as bad as I thought. So let's go for the positive first. I mean, you have 400 games on it. Of course, there's Duplicate, there's shovelware, but a bunch of them are NES games. I'm pretty sure they didn't pay a license to Nintendo though. They also have features that I wish more portable consoles have, like reset button straight in front of it, so it's super easy to switch between game. Now, don't get me wrong, I do expect they do that because they know a lot of those games you won't play more than 30 seconds because some of them are bad shovelware. Also, having a removable battery makes your life way easier, so you know in the future you can like switch it if you need. They also quote 6 hours of battery life. I don't think I could play 6 hours of that console. They also seem quite confident in the product. Like, you have an email contact, a phone number, and an address in France. I'm assuming there's some legal requirement there, but like the fact that you actually have that kind of information is surprising. And like I said, it's maybe a console aimed for kids, and I think if you're like a kid that are visiting an aunt and your choice is like listening the adult talking for 2 hours and taking a third coffee, watching some Coronation Street reruns, or playing that console, you will have a lot of fun with that console. And without bashing it, I mean, like I sit on a couch and play for 30 minutes some of those games, and yeah, there's issue, and I have way better way to play those games. But if it's the only device I had, I would still be able to use it. Another plus, and I'm not sure if it's a positive or not, but it's that there's no fear of breaking this console. If I drop it or bring it in a long commuting, I have zero like fear that like I could lose it, break it, put a screen protector on it, and like or being worried I have an expensive device that people could steal. It's like yeah, I just dump it in my backpack, don't care about it. Of course, for regular gaming, I still think that my LG 35XX Plus is the one that I keep with me because you can play multiple like console on it and it's well done and it's very light. So it's a better console, but of course I maybe paid 65 USD for it when I bought it a year or two ago versus like this one that is $5. Now let's talk about the negative. The screen is one. It seems bright, especially at night. It's too bright for me, and there's no way to adjust any of the settings. There's no setting, it's plug and play, and what you see is what you get. But my main issue with the screen is the color seems off. It's worse looking at the camera that it's in person. But the biggest issue is the refresh rate of the screen. When I'm playing a side-scrolling game like Mario or Exit Bike, I can feel on the right part of the screen when I'm moving fast that like it's not refreshing fast enough and there's some tearing on it. You can ignore it if you're playing and it's the only thing that you have, but I don't feel like playing those games. It's a good emulation like experience. Also, the marketing is one. I mean, they market it as a 3-inch console, but it's clearly like a 2.3-inch console in diagonal. Uh, if you see it next to a 3.5-inch console, you can see that how much real estate you have for playing versus this console. So it's a very tiny screen. The speaker is loud, but it's not agreeable sound. It's not very nice sounding, but you have a volume that you can adjust on the side, a volume button. Also, like I said, the buttons are very mushy. I really don't like the face button. The D-pad was better than I expected. Yeah, it's mushy, but because it's accurate, like aiming at 45 degree in Contra, it's like it still make games playable. You also have a very short TV out cable. It worked because my TCL TV still have like a RCA plug at the back, but because you're like a feet or two from the TV, you're way too close to play on a big screen like that at 55 inch. It maybe work if you plug it to a CRT TV, but you would need some kind of extender to be able to like play comfortably in front of the TV. They also had a pack for $17 at Amazon with like 2 controllers, but I was not ready to invest that kind of money for like that video. Of course, the solution would be Bluetooth. Even if Bluetooth gaming can be like an issue with latency, I think in that case that would probably have worked great. But of course, that would have increased the price, and clearly the price point is the point here. Also, you can't remove or add ROMs. You cannot change any settings. So, what you see is what you get. But in the end, it's a $5 console, and it's totally possible to have fun with it. So let me think in the comments what do you think of that console, and thanks for watching.